What's good? I'm back. Voo's Views, the Naked Truth with my girl Sheree Buchanan Jones. Hey, if you're just getting here, we're talking about should a woman submit in a relationship and why. And now we're about to go into the next topic, which is should she perform wifey duties before getting married? So we were just talking about it, and you were saying, you know, should you toot it up every night? But then you know what guys will say is, and I'm already telling you what the comeback is going to be. I'll just go get it from somewhere else.
And that's, you know, okay, but is that the person you want to get it from? Because then we can keep moving on. Like,
right,
you know.
We can get it from somewhere else too. You know, what's good for the goose
is good for the gander. So, but I don't really think, especially in today's society with the way that the dating game is going and everybody dating everybody, and everybody can get to somebody. It's so what is the word I'm looking for? Accessible to get to someone else. Like, it's just easy.
Yeah.
You know, you DM somebody and there you go. So I feel like now you have to make a guy think you're special. You know what I mean? You have to make him think you're special. I tell my daughters that all the time. Well, one's married now, but the other one, the young one, I have to tell her that because she's like, Mom, these guys in my age group, they're just so out of control and they just expect this, that. And I'm like, well, you got to hold back. You can't give them all your goodies in the first, like, you can't show them everything. You just, exactly. You can't do that. You know, you gotta, I mean, you show, okay, maybe cook him a meal. It's Valentine's Day. Do a meal, cook him a special meal, or it's his birthday or something. Let him know you can cook.
Yeah.
But don't cook for his ass every night.
Right.
Because
Yeah.
then, okay.
Yeah.
You know, and you do special things, but you don't give them everything all the time, because then why buy the cow when you can get the milk for free? You know?
Yeah.
And they made that saying for a reason. Them old ladies didn't come up with that just because. It's true.
And, you know, I totally agree. And I think you should do it when you feel inspired to do it. When you want to do it. Not because you feel like I'm trying to land him.
Yeah.
So I'm going to do all these things and he's going to see what a great wife I can be. And then he's going to marry me.
Right.
Well, you know, this is what I feel. If, like you said earlier, if someone is meant to be with you, you know, whether you're doing all the wifey duties or not, I think that if a guy really wants to marry you, what do you think? Do you think he will anyway, whether you're doing all the wifey duties or not?
Yeah. No, I do feel like, yeah, I mean, you can get in a relationship where you're doing all the wifely duties and he's like, fuck it, I'm gonna marry you. We got 3 kids. Do it. But I also feel like, you know, you show them a little bit, show them that you're capable. I can do this. I don't know if anybody watches, what is it, Married at First Sight?
I've heard of it, but I haven't seen it. Yeah.
This season there's a guy on there, and he really likes this girl, but his debate is, can she be a good wife? And he sees little glimpses, but he's not sure. So his holdback is, do I stay in this relationship because I'm not sure she can be a good wife? So, I mean, I do feel like you need to show them your potential. If you really want to be with this person, they need to know what you're capable of, but you don't do everything. Because then, like I said, why buy the cow if you get the milk for free?
So would you say that a man needs to earn it?
Of course. Of course.
What's he playing this? This is why I mess with Michael. This is why I come to Power 108.9, because he's crazy like me. We weren't raised right. So this is my take on it. Before we went on break, we were talking about, you know, should a woman submit in a relationship? And this is my opinion on that. Should a woman submit in a relationship? Only once he wifes you. And not any time before that. Because if he's not willing to wife you, then why are you submitting? What are the benefits for a woman submitting to a man? So we talked earlier, what are the benefits of a man in a marriage? What is your opinion? What are the benefits for a woman besides feeling safe and secure? What does she get out of submitting?
Well, if he's doing, like we said, like we talked about earlier, if he's leading the right way where you feel that you can submit to him, what are you doing?
Michael's leaving. He's walking out. He's like, screw this shit, I'm out. Come back. You gotta run the station.
But I feel like if that's the case, then the woman should, okay, the benefits would be the fact that he's taking care of house, home. It's taken the fact of you having to be this strong woman that takes care of everything. You got a man that you can rely on that's going to do everything for you. So,
yeah. Well, and I'm going to keep it real with the fellas because the demographic, most of my demographic are men. So I'm going to keep it real with the fellas. The reason why a lot of women, and tell me what you think, Sheree, the reason why a lot of women won't submit in a relationship is because now don't get your boxers in a wad unless the shoe fucking fits, calm the fuck down. But a lot of men feel a sense of entitlement. They feel like, oh, I'm paying all the bills, I'm making all the decisions. You basically just get to relax, and you've submitted in this relationship. So now that entitles me to other pussy.
Oh.
So this is why a lot of women don't want to submit, because a lot of men have that. I've talked to men. They've private messaged me.
Right.
And they were very honest. They were like, when a man reaches a certain income level,
right.
Yeah, I'm not going to leave my wife. You know, I'll be loyal to her and we're going to be together to the end. But part of my reward for my hard work and earning all this money is other women. Okay,
so then if you want other women, then do expect that she's going to have another man. That's all I'm saying.
I keep trying to tell y'all. But then they feel like, well, she shouldn't have another man because she's being taken care of. That's the part of being submitting.
But you're not taking care of me if I can't trust you. If I can't trust you, then I'm not being taken care of emotionally, because now I'm all over the place. So, now you got me feeling like I'm less than a woman because you're telling me that I'm not enough.
So that falls under protection and
exactly.
feeling safe and secure.
And trust. And if you're telling me that I'm not enough, then somebody else is going to tell me that I am. Just like you got, Betty Lou or whoever else
not Betty Lou
filling your other needs.
Right. Why she gotta be Betty Lou though? Sorry. No disrespect to the anyway.
So I'm gonna go find somebody, and that's just natural. That's human. Like, if I know that you're dissing out on me, then eventually I'm gonna diss out on you. It's like you can't just beat a dog down and think a dog ain't gonna eventually bite your ass.
Right.
You're gonna get bit.
Yeah. So that's what I tell guys is a lot of women. This is why a lot of women don't want to submit, especially in 2022 when we can make our own money, we can do for ourselves, and then we're gonna get with the guy, submit to you, and then you're gonna turn around and go get some other pussy because you feel entitled.
Right.
You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Wait, Michael's got something to say.
Okay, I came in at the wrong time because I heard something biting back. Like I don't know what's biting. Like anyway, but I just wanted to say this. I wanted to chime in from a male perspective.
Yes, please. Yes.
A 50. How old am I? I'll be 52 this year. 52-year-old male. Why in 2022 are we still using the word submissive?
Thank you.
Why does a woman have to be submissive in anything? First of all, let's look at how far we've grown since the 1970s when we first heard the words as kids. Oh, your mama has to be submissive to the man just because of he's a man. No, in this day and age, there are no roles in relationship. A woman doesn't just cook and clean. A man just doesn't work every day. There's shared responsibilities in relationships.
Yeah.
And I think for men today, and I know they'll kill me for saying this, we all got to pitch in.
Yeah.
Right.
We all got to do our part. There's no gender role in what we do in society today. So stop trying to get a woman to be submissive and earn it.
Exactly.
Your actions will dictate what a woman does for you. Your actions will dictate it. All that talking you do, all that working hard and all, that's fine. But your actions have to show. And if you can do it with your actions, then your woman will show you how much she loves you.
Exactly.
I'm turning my mic off. I'm sorry.
No, but I think what you said is a good point. And I mean, we're using the word submissive, but in a roundabout way, if you take out the word, that's kind of, where we're at is if you show her that she can trust you, that you can be everything she needs you to be, she's going to do those things you want her to do. We can take the word submissive off, but she's going to be that person. She's going to bang you every night. She's going to do those things if she feels she can completely trust you and you're fulfilling her every need as a woman. She's going to be more than drip, drip, wet for you. Yeah. You're going to get that guap.
The guap, the wop. your pussy. Okay? You gonna get some pussy. Unless she has a low sex drive, well, then I can't help you with that.
I can get her some hormone pills. She might need that shot.
Go get your hormones checked, ladies. Because if he's doing all that and you're not tooting it up, yeah, I can't help you. We can't help you when them other hoes show up at the house, okay? Because that's real, though. There are men who are doing a lot of making great decisions, being a great leader, and they got some woman at home who's ungrateful, unappreciative. He does make good sound decisions, and something changed along the way. She's not tooting it up every night. Like Michael said earlier, we married and now the pussy's gone downhill. Like, well, he didn't say those.
Hold on, I did not say that. I did not say that, Andrew. Don't do that.
Put words in his mouth. Don't be
sorry. Those are my words. Now the pussy's gone downhill. I ain't getting no pussy. I mean, if I had a nickel every time I heard a married man say, I only get sex like once a month now.
Yeah. I think, and what men need to understand that comes into play is when you have small kids, I'm sorry, it is rough, especially when a woman, if she's working and she's coming home and she's cooking and she's cleaning and then she's got these kids, she got to do homework, she got to do this. Tired, just tired.
Beyond. I can't. And
I get it. And yeah. I applaud every couple that can make it through that and get to the other side. I feel like once you get to the other side and it's not as taxing, then it gets happy again. You know what I mean?
Yeah. If you can hang in there.
If you can hang in there, it gets happy again. But
yeah, I mean, I don't know. In your opinion, do you think that a lot of men understand that?
No.
I agree.
I don't.
I think that some think that they do, but I don't think they really. Not all men. Again, don't get your fucking boxers in a wad. If the shoe doesn't fit, don't come up in my inbox cussing me out, okay? But what I'm saying is, if you're a man who's working and the woman is doing most of the taking care of the child, and I don't think they understand how hard it is.
I don't think so either.
Yeah.
It's hard. It's hard when you have another person attached to you and you got to do everything for that person constantly, and they're always there, and they're it's a lot.
Yeah.
And I had 4 kids, so I really know, they were always just.
What do you think the perception is that the stereotypical guy who doesn't understand, what do you think they think we're doing at home? I
really think a lot of them think you're sitting there watching TV and eating bonbons chilling, drinking a glass of wine. And
even if you have a moment to do that during the day,
right,
it's still work, because at any second, what's going to happen? The kid's going to run into mommy.
Exactly.
So you might see me sitting there with a bonbon and the show on, but guess what? Any second, I'm still high. The reason I'm having this, drinking this bonbon, is because I know at any moment these little crumb snatchers are going to come in. Mommy.
And that's what they don't understand. It's a constant thing. And I mean, you may clean up the house. You may have made the house beautiful. And so they would come home and say, oh my God, babe, you did an amazing job with the house. But 10 minutes before they walk in, the kids wake up from a nap and they mess your shit up. And all of a sudden, it looks like it did before they left out the house. So they think you haven't been doing anything, but you have. I have a daughter that's going through the same thing right now. I mean, she can't keep the house clean enough because her kids are behind her throwing stuff.
I've got
it's
one.
Constant.
Yeah, I've got one, and I'm constantly running behind her.
You're doing laundry. You're doing laundry because they got food all over. I mean, you're constantly doing stuff. It's a full-time job.
Yeah. So what if a man is in a financial position to do so? Again, I'm going to repeat that. If he is in a financial position to do so, what would you recommend he do to help?
I'd recommend that they hire someone to come in a couple days a week to help her keep the house clean, to help her go out and beautify herself, make her feel good about herself, watch the kids for a couple hours, whatever, but do stuff to make your wife feel appreciated.
Now, what if he's not in a financial position and he can't hire someone, but he's working around the clock?
There's little things you can do. I mean, I remember one day feeling so overwhelmed. I remember feeling so overwhelmed, and Ray came home with a plant. He bought me a plant, and I just started crying because I was like, oh, it was the ugliest little plant, but it was a plant.
Just the fact that he thought about you.
The fact that he knew that I was overwhelmed with 2 toddlers, and he came home with a plant and was like, even in my mind, I was like, that's one more thing for me to take care of.
Right, now I got to water this bitch. Got to make sure it gets enough
But
sunlight.
it was the thought. It's the appreciation. I think
Yeah,
any relationship, you have to tell that person how much you love them, how much you appreciate them. I mean, all the time. You just can't get complacent, you know?
Yeah. Okay. Now, I totally agree with that. So, fellas, if you are not in a financial position, offering her as much supportive words as you can, calling, texting her, checking on her throughout the day, a phone call.
Yep.
Babe, I'm sorry I can't be there right now, but, sorry I have to be at work, but I just want you to know you're in my thoughts. Is there something I can bring home on my way home? Can I pick you up a meal? Like, what are some little things that would have, besides the plant, like would have made your life easier if he was not in a financial position, but he could do little things?
Just telling me, like, wake up in the morning. I mean, call you in the middle of the day and just like, I just want to tell you how beautiful you are. You're the finest woman in this planet to me.
Is that gonna make your pussy wet? Would that make your pussy?
It would. It would.
What you say, Ann? We didn't hear you.
I said, would that make your pussy wet?
My husband tells me, he gives me words of confirmation all the time.
Yeah.
Always, even when I don't even feel like I'm looking like anything, he tells me, you're so beautiful. I love you. Like, he always tells me that.
Yeah.
And that just, it just makes you happy. It makes you look at that person and say, oh, I love you.
Yeah.
It's just little things like that. That's all you really need to do.
Yeah. Well, I totally agree, because I tell guys this all the time, and this is a good conversation right here. When a guy stops doing the things that he did in the beginning to get her,
Mm-hmm.
it's only a matter of time before he loses her.
Exactly.
So, but some guys say, well, but you're not keeping up yourself either. You're not doing what you did in the beginning. In the beginning, you was getting your hair done. You showed up with makeup on. Now I see rollers when we go to bed, and you're in a robe, and you got on your slippers, not the cute ones with the heels.
The ones with food stains on.
So they feel like I'm getting the short end of the stick too. So where's the happy medium? So you've been married for 18 years. What would be your advice?
I would say, like I said, it's a give and take. Like, you both have to be completely conscious of what you're doing to make the other one feel. Because I feel like if I make you feel special, say we're in a humdrum, neither one of us are really doing anything. Somebody has to take the lead. And if it's you, take the lead sometimes and just put those words of affirmation out there. Do something special. Go buy their favorite candy or their favorite this. Something to make them say, oh, shit, I need to do something special for her, too. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
That's what you do. Like, you have to keep it up. If you realize that we're going down a road that is dark or, whatever, do something to bring it back. And then that person's going to be like, oh, shit. And they're going to want to do the same thing for you.
Yeah,
but if you just keep going at each other, you keep nagging at each other, then it's just going to keep going down, down, down. Somebody has to be the bigger person in the relationship. That's one of the biggest things I've learned. That sometimes I have to be the bigger person in the relationship. Sometimes he's the bigger person. But once you do it for each other and you realize it and you're conscious of it, I think that helps you to keep going and elevating.
And I also think there's a lack of communication and a lot of selfishness, because we're here to serve each other in a relationship, right? And if you see that your girl is not showing up sexy and she's not doing makeup or whatever it is, instead of just complaining about it, maybe ask her and find out,
I'll go buy her a sexy outfit.
Yeah, or buy her a sexy outfit.
Yeah.
Or, hey, babe, is, something going on with you? Are you stressed? Or, because a lot of times men don't ask, and so they just complain. And I used to come home, and she used to wear sexy lingerie, and she doesn't do it anymore. But what they may not realize is maybe she's overstressed about the kids.
Exactly.
She's too tired.
Right.
Or maybe the kids are grown and out of the house, but maybe she's stressed out about something about work. Or maybe she doesn't feel sexy because maybe she isn't at the weight or at the fitness of her body, but she's not going to say that. She's not going to walk around like, oh, I don't wear lingerie for you because my ass is not looking right. We ain't going to say that.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So I think sometimes having a conversation, because he could, I think buying lingerie, yes, please buy me some lingerie.
Right.
But if she doesn't feel sexy in it, then it goes beyond that, right? So how does he know unless he asks?
Right.
And I think there's a breakdown in communication.
Exactly.
And on both sides, because a lot of times there's a lot going on with men, and they feel like, we're just used as tools. We don't even get asked how our day is, what we need. So
yeah, it is. And unfortunately, you don't really start learning those things until you get a little bit older. And that sucks. But for the young ones that are listening, take that. I mean, take that. It's true. Communication. Talk to each other. If somebody's pissing you off all the time, quit walking around pissed off too. Just go to them and ask them what's happening. What's going on?
Yeah, no,
what we need to
a
talk
lot
about.
of it is sometimes even to go even deeper. It could be health related.
True.
Because if you're not getting your blood work checked and you're not getting your hormones checked, because hormones are everything, it balances everything out. And if your hormones are off balance, it can affect your mood. That might be why you're nagging more. That might be why you're being bitchy more on both ends. You know what I mean? So if you're not getting that checked, that plays. A guy told me the other day that him and his wife almost got divorced because the sex wasn't good, and it was actually on his part.
Oh.
She had no problem. She had a high sex drive, but his was very, very slow. And he went and got his hormones checked, found out his testosterone levels were too low.
Oh.
So they fixed it, and now everything's
fine.
great. Yeah, they fucking like rabbits. I'm like, okay, well, that was too much information. I didn't even need to know all that. But okay, glad to know you getting some over there.
But it's true. Yeah. I mean, like you said, it's all about open communication. You have to talk. You have to talk. You can't just bottle it in and talk to your girlfriends about it, but don't talk to your husband about it. Vice versa. Talk to your boys about it, but don't talk to your wife about it.
Yeah. So, well, you know, my issue, though, is still the families that have small children and the woman is suffering because she's dealing with kids day in and day out. The husband, he's too busy working, and so there's no communication. They're not having sex. So besides communication and doing a nice thing for each other here and there, hindsight, looking back on your previous relationship, what else do you think was missing?
For us, it was trust. Yeah, it was a breakdown along the way. So it was a breakdown of trust. And it's hard when you see patterns that you think takes you back to a period in your relationship where the other person was doing something that they shouldn't have been doing. You know what I mean? And then it could be one little thing that maybe they're not doing anything, but one little trigger that triggers you and you're like, oh shit, they must be doing something again, you know, or whatever. So it's, I think when you break that trust initially in a relationship, either you forgive, forget, and you move on, or you go your separate ways. You know, you go your separate ways. And I think there goes communication again. Talk to the person. Can you be this person I need you to be? Are you going to be this person? If you mess up one more time, then fuck it, I'm out. You know what I mean? And that's kind of, I think, where we were. And that's basically what's our breakdown in our relationship.
Yeah, and trust doesn't even have to just, you know, and I'm not saying this was your situation, but trust doesn't even have to be just as far as like infidelity.
No.
Trust can be broken in so many different ways.
So many different ways.
Like just promising that you're going to do something. And
right.
Maybe one or two broken promises because work got in the way, but when it continues to happen, then it's like, okay, well, they keep saying this, but I don't know if it's really gonna happen because they told me this before, and
it didn't happen. Right? It can be all kinds of things, but
and then even though you may forgive and move past it, as soon as it happens again,
or
then
a
it brings
trigger.
back everything that you have already forgiven. You may have forgiven it, but then you think back to it, and you're like, well, they did do this before. Did I forgive too soon?
Exactly.
Has that happened to you?
Yeah.
Where
of
you
course.
felt like, did I forgive them? And really, this is just who they are.
Right.
And now you feel like the dummy.
And then you feel like they're never going to change. So you ditch. You know what I mean? So it's like, okay, I got to go. Because you start losing yourself in a really, and that's what we say when guys want a woman to be submissive or whatever the definition they want to say. The thing is, if you're not being that person for that woman, then of course, eventually she's going to start losing who she is, and she's not true to herself anymore. And she loses herself. And it's like, you see yourself falling down, like Get Out. Remember he was falling down that tunnel and you could see the light at the top, but you falling.
I didn't, was it a movie?
Yeah, it was a movie.
I didn't see it.
You start feeling like that person, like, I see me way up there, but shit, I'm falling. I can't get myself back, you know? So you have to make those decisions for yourself.
Do you think that a one-time infidelity can be forgiven? Should be forgiven?
I think one time can be forgiven.
Yeah.
We all make mistakes.
Yeah.
But you have to truly forgive. If that person's not willing to forgive, then no. Because it's always going to come back to the forefront of the relationship.
Does it depend on why the infidelity happened?
Yeah, I think so.
So let's say that everything's going great in the relationship. They're having regular sex. There's no lacking there. They get along, but
then
someone just gets greedy.
They just got a problem. You just got a problem. There's a problem.
In that case, should you give them another chance?
In that case, there's a problem. Yeah. I don't think you should give them another. I think you could give them if you want to, but I just feel like it's going to result in the same thing because they're just being greedy. Yeah. They want it all.
Yeah, so that's the reason I'm asking this question is because I have people that ask me these questions. They inbox me and I'm like, listen, if you're doing everything that you can do and you've communicated with this, because I do temperature checks in my situation. I'll ask from time to time, is there anything that I'm not doing that you need from me?
Right.
You know, that I'm just not aware of or maybe you haven't thought about. And, you know, and if the answer is continually yes, and you feel like you're doing everything and, you know, and they're confirming it. Right. And then they go out and cheat, then it's like, but if they're coming to you and they're saying like, well, you know,
this is what I need.
I'm only getting sex from you like once a month and.
Or this is what I need emotionally, mentally, whatever. Yeah.
Whatever it is.
And you don't change it or try to meet them and they cheat. That could be a different story.
Yeah, I agree. Yeah.
I think we hit close to home.
I'm like, listen, because you know, did you ever watch Sex and the City?
Yes.
Okay. Do you remember the episode when Steve cheated on Miranda?
Yes.
And she didn't give him any sex for 6 months.
Right.
And she had the audacity to be angry about it. I was like, you didn't give that man no pussy for 6 months. He didn't want to cheat. I'm surprised he waited 6 months.
Right.
You hear my high pitched voice? Because I'm like, he's a better man than me, and I'm not even a man. 6 months?
That's a long time. That's a long time.
Shit, 2 weeks is a long time for my ass. Okay, I'm sorry. Sheree, is there anything any parting words you want to say before we leave the audience?
I guess just on the subject that we talked about, you know, be the best version of you. If you're the best version of you that you can be, if you're happy with who you are, you will attract that mate, that person who will help you be even better. And I mean, if you in a shit, don't go out messing up nobody else. If you shitty, you know you shitty. Don't be trying to get in a relationship with nobody else making her shitty too, or him, vice versa.
Yeah.
But be who you are. Be your best person. And if you're ready to make that next step, then make that next step. But make sure you all that you can be.
I love that. Sound advice. Shouts out to Andy. Oh, and where can they find you, Sheree? Social media.
Social media, Sheree Buchanan on IG, Sheree Buchanan, Sheree Stivers Buchanan on Facebook, and Twitter, Sheree Buchanan.
Is there anything else you want the people to know?
Nope.
No?
Nope.
All right, just get on your shit, basically.
Do your thing.
All right, everybody. Well, thank you so much for tuning in. I do have some last parting words, and that is... like she said, you've got to be in tune with who the fuck you are. You know what I'm saying? If you don't know what makes you happy, if you don't know how to make yourself happy, then you definitely have no business being in a relationship, because then you're going to be dependent on that person to make you happy. And nobody can live up to your expectations, just like you can't live up to anyone else's expectations on what makes them happy. So enjoy the best parts of them that you do love, and then whatever they're not giving you, you have to find that within yourself. Find a way to make yourself happy. All right. Yep. Anyway, why are you giving me that look, Michael? Oh, okay. We gotta wrap this up. All right, go home and masturbate. Learn how to play with your pussy. All right. Love you guys. The Naked Truth.
It's me and little baby.